In this show, The Classics, we bring together a riveting list of speakers who have years of experience across varied industries. They have helped scale startups to becoming corporates. They have helped companies scale up to global footprints. These people are from varied backgrounds of marketing, technology, operations, consulting, and that is how we believe that the best learning would come from. Here is Tech Samvadan where India connects, bringing you a series of episodes with the classics of the industry. Today we have Gaurav Mehta, currently the CMO of CarDekho, as I already said, and has previously worked with companies like Yahoo and OLX. So let's invite Gaurav Mehta on board and see what he has got to say to our viewers. So glad to introduce you to Gaurav, who is right now the CMO of CarDekho.com, and as I said in my introduction, a company which is very close to my heart because it was founded from my hometown. And as we spoke, I kind of find out that Gaurav himself is from my hometown, which is Jaipur. So interestingly, two Jaipur people together in a conversation. And Gaurav, welcome to our show.
Hey, Pavas, thank you.
So, you have seen the digital space grow from a company like Yahoo, which was a giant at that point of time, to now CarDekho, which is like a front runner, poster boy of the startup scene of India. How have you seen this change? What all was your experience from Yahoo to CarDekho today, which has almost been like 10 years?
Yeah, a little bit above 11 years.
Yeah.
So Yahoo was an eye-opener because the kind of talent that you were getting exposed to all of a sudden.
Correct.
Being the mothership of consumer internet, you were getting exposed to, and being an MNC, a huge MNC, you're getting exposed to a number of people from all across the world. Things like analytics, which you had no idea about,
right,
was all of a sudden being exposed to you. So those were some of the learnings. How do you make a product become big without much of marketing investments?
Right.
So how does product really kick on and make something really big? That was my big learning.
Yeah.
OLX was just about creating a category out of thin air. But again, I think more than the successes, it was just about how we succeeded.
Yeah.
Worked a lot with. It's a very lean team over there. I think when I left OLX in 2016 December, I think we were 150 people, 180 people. I don't remember the exact number. But we were the 7th largest site in the country.
Yeah.
So that obviously tells you how to scale up.
Correct.
I worked a lot with Dutch and Germans at that time, so that just changed the way I work.
Okay.
So that is my big learning. CarDekho has been an insane ride altogether. I mean, I had content also apart from marketing, which is the whole editorial and journalistic piece, and that has taught me again how to build a business through content.
Wow.
The power of editorial, in terms of helping people to choose the right things for themselves.
Yeah.
So there's been always one big learning from all my past 3 digital stints.
Yeah. So the interesting part is that you kind of kept pace with the changing times. From an option that you had, you chose to go with a digital giant.
Yeah.
And what I take from that is that there should always be room for accepting new things. And from being from Jaipur, how I want to understand this from you is, was it the right mindset for you while you were growing up? Did you see it happening like that? Did you ever plan it to pan out like that?
So coming from Jaipur, part of the business family, through and throughout.
Yeah.
So I think risk taking and getting onto an opportunity when it's still young is something that you learn at the dining table.
Sure.
I chose to exercise that in a job.
Yeah.
Rather than say only running my own thing.
Yeah.
But the modus operandi was the same. And I think that's the right approach, because look, businesses and the business models are getting fragmented and disrupted so quickly. Agar aap ek hi cheez pe atke rahenge, then you're going to be obsolete very, very quickly.
Correct.
You might get stuck because you have a great boss, you might have stock options, you might have some other comfort areas ki mere ghar ke paas, but I think those are wrong reasons to stick around.
True.
So I did not take my decisions as per those 2-3 or any other filters.
So with your passion of marketing and being close to building brands, and you just mentioned that you started your own brand and marketing consulting back in Jaipur. So what was the reason that you moved on from it, or what were the challenges that you faced, or you would want to share why did you choose to move on from it?
So I graduated from MICA in 2002, so about a year and a quarter after working in say ad agencies and all. I just found that the opportunity for me to go back to Jaipur and work with companies whose founders have studied abroad, who want to do
Correct.
certain things at a certain level but don't have the necessary support.
Correct.
And that was my need gap analysis. So I went back home, I asked these guys, I'm going to get your marketing from A to B. Rather than hiring a local MBA, paying him 35,000 rupees, give me the same thing, put me on a retainer. So first 6 months were tough, I didn't have any gig to speak of. But then the next 3 years were very, very good. Due to some personal reasons, I shifted back to Delhi. But I think I look back upon those 3.5 years of experience very fondly, because it just taught me being in a job, but working like an entrepreneur. So, because that came at a very early stage of my career. So it's almost like the DNA changing kind of a thing. Everything that you do has to be done with an end objective, a business objective. So even today, when I'm like, if I were to do a TV campaign, my success matrix is not going to be the GRPs delivered or the top line of the funnel being healthy. It's all about bottom line.
Correct.
So that's how I operate.
So interestingly, you mentioned content as a part of your role right now, and I wanted to touch upon that. So, it's been 2 years for you in CarDekho, almost a year and a half, I guess.
No, almost 3 years now.
Almost 3 years now. So wow. So I wanted to understand. So do you see that there is a huge technology integration or digital content integration in the editorial scenario now? How do you see technology being integrated closely with content?
So there are two pieces to this. One is, how do you generate content, not in terms of tools and techniques, but just the inciting part. What kind of content to create. And the second is your delivery and distribution. So while delivery and distribution is fairly well known, what are the changes in UI and UX you need to do from a mobile optimization perspective. And we can talk about it, but then I think that is fairly well published. For me, the biggest unlock, the key to unlock the success of content in the past 2.5 years was the inciting part through technology and analytics. We understood what people want. We understood how much do they read. We understood how much do they watch. What really makes a video stick and what doesn't make a video stick. So all those things just made us a better journalistic unit. Because the entire staff was coming from the print background.
Of course.
Which is a one-way street. Where you're writing 3,000 word, 6 pages essays and all. So technology and analytics helped us understand what is it to be a journalist or an editor in the digital age. So that was a big part.
So we talk about content. Now obviously there is a huge talk about video content in the digital space. Then there's the whole new wave of influencers coming in through Instagram, YouTube, and all these new platforms. So out of all these varied form of marketing, so if you had, just hypothetically, if you work with a young startup with a lean budget, what would you would you put all your eggs in one basket, or would you divide them across all these media? How would you optimize it across all these different channels available now? Because it's confusing.
It depends on what stage you are in. I mean, you asked like a really young startup and all that. I'll break it down into push versus pull. Influencer marketing, performance marketing, all these things are great. Right? I'm like, performance marketing for sure is great. Influencer marketing, maybe the jury's still out, but then I mean, sometimes it works, sometimes it does. But the moment you stop that, your traction just goes down. But a young company does require that velocity speed, so I can absolutely understand if they were to do this. But if you have to succeed as a business, you can't be dependent on these sources. That's what I feel. And that's where your pull marketing, which is like, just owning a little bit of mind space in the mind of the consumer, is super important. Which is all about brand building. And brand building is not just about throwing good ads. It's just about a great UX and inciting piece and all.
A relatable story.
The very few young companies can manage to do that. But so it all depends on at which stage you are.
So would you say, like, is it right to say that probably, if not today, in the next couple of years, traditional methods of marketing, especially like print, would totally be out of fashion, or would that still coexist? Because right now, definitely, like companies that go big, they go very bullish on print. So is that trend going to change completely, and is print going to get out of fashion, or will it stay like it is?
So slowly and steadily, I think the importance of print is going down. We are seeing that. for certain industries still is like really important, like for automobiles, which
Absolutely.
is the category I am in.
Yeah.
It's still very relevant. Real estate. Is it as relevant as it was earlier? No. So it's going down. Just to give you, and I might be a little bit off in my in terms of my figures, what I remember, but then it's a dated data. Craigslist, which started the whole horizontal classified in US. It replaced a business, the classified print classified business, worth $3 billion with $270 million turnover. So it's almost like almost 2.7 billion worth of advertising money went out, but the impact was the same.
Yeah, absolutely.
So there are some data points that point towards that thing. Digitization is here too.
Correct. Correct. So any interesting, in your long career journey, any interesting problem statement or case in a real life example of one of your companies that you worked with that you solved with a marketing strategy, and that was a huge roadblock in your industry, and you solved that with a marketing strategy that you can share with us?
Sure. I think so we were in the horizontal classified space at OLX, which is the UGC space. UGC spaces are very, very cutthroat, very monopolistic. 70-80% market shares are required. So us and the other player in the market, just a bit bigger than them, but then we were not like able to discern ourselves in the mind of the consumer versus them. Whatever we were doing, they were copying.
Correct.
And that is just leading to a lot of confusion. So I think one of the campaigns that we did, the entire insight was that an old good need not. The whole tagline and the thought was कि कुछ कीमत भी कुछ कीमती भी.
Okay, interesting.
How old goods are leading to not just say monetary value, but there's an emotional value attached to it. And I think that after that particular marketing campaign, we really started seeing ourselves diverging from that.
There were noticeable changes in the
absolutely. It was almost like you started distancing.
So if there's a young marketeer, getting introduced to the industry now, or probably passing out from college, which segment or which domain of marketing would you want them to focus on for a better career growth for the next 5 years?
So Pavas, I think marketing is such a broad and nebulous field.
Absolutely.
Like I hire people from all over. I'll hire a journalist to be my PR manager, and I'll hire an analytics person to be my digital person.
Yeah, absolutely.
So marketing is not what it used to be. But there are a lot of young people who actually ask me how do we
absolutely.
I'll always ask them to get into understand the business from a data perspective. Can you get into the business analytics team?
Okay, interesting.
Can you actually get into the BI team, research teams, and understand the business from a data perspective? What's happening, what's not happening? Because with marketing, have you seen the movie Ratatouille?
Yeah, absolutely.
There's that, I think Chef Gusteau, right? And there's a little mouse who's cooking, and he says anybody can cook. That is the motto of the movie. I think anybody can do marketing. That's what I absolutely believe.
So you think marketing would be more analytics driven? Is already
no, not necessarily only analytics driven, but then just about understanding the business and what the consumers are doing.
Right.
Analytics gives you almost a real-time access to that. Maybe you're in the research department and you're getting the same kind of access. Maybe you're in the field and talking to people. You're a salesperson, and you're getting the same feel. But I'm saying, how do you understand the business really well upfront? I think BI and the analytics division is one division that is always doing that. Which is why I asked people who want to get into marketing, start with 2-3 years out of here.
Wow. Okay.
Once you understand the business, then tooling and all is super easy. I mean, and things change so fast. अगर आज आप कोई चीज समझ भी गए, तो ऐसा नहीं कि आगे के 30 साल उसी में चले
जाएंगे. Correct.
3 साल चलेंगे.
The entire industry is so dynamic right now. It's changing very fast. So if I talk to you about segments like for example, food tech, fintech, those kind of segments. So which 2 or 3 segments do you think are going to go more bullish as per the industry right now in India?
Yeah, so I think any industry which is going to take on these 3-4 filters, am I giving you a better solution than what's there?
Sure.
Am I mass in nature? Am I repeatable in nature? Not like once in 6 months, but am I being used on a weekly basis, daily basis?
Recurring customers.
I think if you were ticking on any of these all of these three boxes, then you're in an industry which is here to stay.
Absolutely.
So when you say fintech and food tech, absolutely it ticks these three boxes for sure for me.
Sure.
There are a few others which are like, from a B2B perspective, I think a lot of interesting SaaS stories are coming in.
Yeah, absolutely.
So I won't be close to the idea of suggesting B2B also for young marketers out there.
So even logistics tech, like for example, is
absolutely
growing really fast.
The bigger the problem, the better the rewards are.
Yeah,
that's the way I look at it.
Of course.
There's so many companies who are trying to like sort out logistics and transportation and so many things. I'm like refrigeration. So anything which is a bigger problem and is not being solved by the current incumbents.
Yeah. So because we were earlier talking about Jaipur and all and it speaks for a tier 2 industry in general. So do you think marketing, branding, all these things are going to change their landscape in tier 2? Because how I see it right now is that a lot of companies that are probably still based out of Jaipur, they are very averse to spending on branding. They are more traditional in nature. They are more like ki chalo matlab even in digital, let's just do performance marketing.
Yeah.
Just spend on Google ads and let's get the sales done.
Yeah.
So do you think that shift or that mindset change is going to come any soon? Do you see that happening in tier 2 and tier 3?
Absolutely. Oh, absolutely. I'm seeing like green shoots of that happening.
Okay.
Look, the thing is ki in tier 2 cities and Jaipur where we come from, both of us, there's a little bit of like follow sheep mentality. Till the time nobody does that, everybody's very happy. You just need a couple of believers to do that. When I was running my branding consulting and marketing consulting company in 2003, Brand DNA, it took me 6 months to crack the first one.
Okay.
But by the end of it, I had 5 people on retainer. So, and they understood what I was doing.
Correct.
So, because they are smart young people who have made industries and companies which are national and international in nature.
Absolutely.
And so like CarDekho and the other companies which are coming out of Jaipur will prove to be that inspiration or the spark for young Jaipurites. Yeah.
So in the young startups, among the young startups, because you have been in NCR for a couple of years, you understand this industry, this ecosystem very well. So among the young startups, do you think that branding is going to be more of a challenge, or marketing in terms of performance influencer marketing is going to be more of a challenge? Because I see why I ask this question is because very less companies actually focus on the overall brand building per se. Obviously there are companies like Apple, Samsung, who are all about branding, who are all about telling real stories to their users.
Sure.
But do you think that young startups need to wake up to the importance of branding and not just sales and marketing?
So I was in San Francisco 2 years back.
Okay.
With the IAMI. And there was like a little bit of an immersion tour. They'd invited like some 10-12 of us and we'd gone there. I think we were at Y Combinator or Top 500, I don't know which, one of the two.
Okay.
And we were talking to the principal over there. So the question I asked of him was that like you have a badge
batch of startups,
young entrepreneurs. How do you, at what point, that's not relevant. I'm like, what's relevant was that how do you like discern between the guy who will succeed and who
Interesting.
who's not there? He said a guy who knows how to market will succeed.
Okay.
A guy who knows how to build brand will succeed. He was not talking about the tools or like performance
technology
वो सब कुछ नहीं. कि performance marketer है, brand marketer है, वो नहीं. He's a guy who knows how to market, a guy who knows how to build a brand. Within first 6 weeks we come to know, and more often than not that guy succeeds in raising the Series A's and seeds and all that.
That's what Steve Jobs was all about. He was less about product, more about marketing always.
Absolutely.
And
you look, if like behavioral economics, right? This is something I'm like really interested in. It just like tells you the irrational mind. If you win that over, then the rational mind pretty much has no defense.
Absolutely.
And that's what brand building does. That's what great marketing does.
So in a way, that's more about touching the emotional chord of a person.
And emotional chord, and like sometimes I'm like people sitting in the boardrooms find that very fluffy, but that's that's the reality.
Obviously, that is how it is. So just to sort of move it forward, like your 2 words or your piece of your mind on how young marketers or young companies should market themselves. So what is going to be the future of marketing if I ask you the gist of it?
So it's a lot of people think it's becoming more complex. I just think it's becoming more easy.
Okay, interesting.
Yeah. The Ratatouille example, anybody can market. I make that statement very, very seriously. Because you've got so many tools at your disposal.
Of course.
The one thing that comes really hard is always A, asking the right question, and B, enough curiosity to ask those right questions.
Absolutely.
So young companies, I think there's always this thing here, I have to survive, meko agle mahine ka pay roll dena and all that, and that's why, and I can understand why they're a little bit sometimes short term in nature. The very good entrepreneurs, they actually know कि मेरे को 1 साल बाद क्या बनना है, 2 साल बाद क्या बनना है, and all that kind of
Correct.
stuff.
So the long-term vision, basically.
Yeah. While you might fight fire on a daily basis, but you have to have that thing ready.
Perfect.
If I have to get this mind share, what are the 6 things I need to do to get this mind share in?
Perfect.
What consumer behavior do I change? What is the other incumbent or alternative I need to throw out of the window?
Okay.
If you were to think like that, then you'll more probably
Be futuristic, progressive.
Yeah.
So that was Gaurav Mehta, CMO of CarDekho.com, who spared his time for us for this show, for sharing his experiences with our viewers.
Thanks for inviting me. I think it's always like good to have a freewheeling chat on.
Absolutely. For me, it was a great experience having someone from Jaipur, first of all.
Likewise.
Thank you so much,
Thanks,
Gaurav.
Thomas.
Thank you.